Wasn't that wonderful? Thank you. Our musicians, Isabel Fournier and Susan Sale. Lovely performance. Hi everyone, my name is Peter McCaskill, and I am pleased to welcome you to our 39th annual general meeting. First, before we start off, I'll ask our Treasurer Secretary, Brian Randell, to confirm that the number of voting members present and proxies received meets or exceeds the required for quorum, which is at least 15 members. Thank you. I'll also ask for confirmation that the members received the appropriate notice and distribution of materials per our bylaws. Confirmed. Great. Thank you. I now declare the meeting is duly constituted, and the requirement for quorum has been met, and the 39th annual general meeting for the members of Symphony Nova Scotia Society is called to order. First, a land acknowledgement. We would like to start by saying that we acknowledge that Symphony Nova Scotia's performances take place in the Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq. First is the agenda. So there's two things that I just want to point out. So the music director report will be tabled by Chris, and the foundation report will be presented by Leah Hamilton. Chris Wilkinson, of course, and Leah Hamilton. So I ask for a motion to accept the agenda. You see one? Yeah. Thanks, Jane. Perfect. And second? Kathleen, thank you. Put forth the question. A motion to accept the agenda. All in favor, please raise your hands. Any contrary minded? Don't see any, so the motion passed. Also in your package, you'll see minutes from last year's AGM. So I'll now call for a motion to accept the minutes. Thanks, Al. Can I have a seconder? Great, thanks, Mother. Perfect, thanks. Any questions? Don't see any. Now call the question. All in favor, please signify by raising your hands. Thank you. And any contrary? Don't see any. Motion passed. Perfect. Great, I think we're good. Next is the chair's report. So I'm going to start by saying it's wonderful to be back. It was wonderful last year to be back in person for the season. It was especially wonderful to be able to walk onto the cone and welcome the audience to that first concert last fall. You know, we had some trying couple of years, and to be able to actually give live performance again was a wonderful feeling, and you could feel it in the room then. Had a few little trips, pickups through the year in society, not the Symphony Society, but in society in general. But it was good to get that going. I'd also like to thank our outgoing chair, Nancy Bartow, for her leadership over the last 2 years. Again, it was a tough period, but her leadership really shone through, you know, given the challenges that we had and the experience that you were able to bring to the board and to the symphony as well. So thank you very much for that. I also want to thank Chris. Chris, great job with leadership through the years. The board of directors, the musicians, staff, our incredible supporters for laying the foundation that made our return to live performances possible. We're especially grateful to have such great support, donors, and a wonderful foundation. The continued support of government, especially during the pandemic, was so valuable. Brian will get into the financial report later and talk more about that. It takes a community to make music happen, and we are fortunate to have such a vibrant musical tradition in our province. 21-22 was a season of great optimism, hope, and resilience. We completed our strategic plan, which will guide us through 2024. We took time to assess our effectiveness as a board and participated in training to improve our understanding of our roles and responsibilities. I'd also like to take this opportunity to take a critical look at how it was also an opportunity to take a critical look at how we serve our community better. I'm proud of our efforts to integrate new voices into our programming, cultivate meaningful connections within our community, and find innovative ways to take music beyond classical tradition. The board also welcomed new members, a few of them here tonight. Kathleen Franklin, Margaret Chapman, Miley Graham-Lidlaw, Jill Thomas-Merrick, Mark Parkhill, and Symphony Nova Scotia Principal Cello, Rachel DeSur, as the musical representative. Departing board members included past chair, Gail Morris, board member Permjot Valia, the musician representative Ken Nagani, and I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our past board members for being so generous with their time and talents over the years. This past season saw the beginning of a return to normal. We were thrilled to be able to connect with our community again and share the music that we all love. We look forward to continuing to come together to support each other. Thank you for supporting your orchestra and making a return to the stage possible. And that's the chair's report. I'd now like to introduce Brian Rendell to present the financial report.
Thanks, Peter. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm quite pleased to be able to bring forward another strong financial result for the Society for the year. You'll see in your package that once again Grant Thornton has prepared an audit report. No major issues or concerns were identified. I won't plan on going through this in tremendous detail, but maybe just make a couple of highlights for you. We did have another surplus or excess of revenues over expenses for the year, around $562,000, which is a little less than last year. It was over $1 million last year, but we're pleased that the year did end up with in a surplus position, and really that's a testament to continuing support from government with wage subsidies that did continue throughout the year, although starting to peter out a little bit, and continuing support, of course, from our donors, both private and public. So thank you to all of you and to everybody who were continuing to support the organization. We did put on some more shows this past year as compared to the year before. Obviously, it wasn't hard to do better than the year before, given the lockdown. But we'll say it's a bit of a trial year to get us back up and running and to see, how many folks would come out to a concert, and we're starting to see that that's increasing. And for any of you who were at the concerts this past weekend, starting to get some good attendance, so it's comforting to see that. But from a financial perspective, looking back at last year, we've now been able to add to the reserve fund or recovery fund, I guess is how we like to call it, not knowing what's ahead of us. COVID is going to do this fall or throughout the winter. We're hoping for the best, but preparing for some degree, I guess, for the worst. So we do have a fund now of about $2 million that we could draw upon to help us balance where the revenues may not be perhaps coming in from attendees. We'll see how that goes, but we have a bit of a buffer there, which is always a nice thing to have when you're in an uncertain time like this. We know that the government support for wage subsidy is not likely to continue. We can't count on that, so we now have a bit of a buffer there. So that's of course, it's a good thing. There were some additional activities throughout the year, so some of the costs are up, as you'd expect when we're starting to put shows on stage. So, but all in all, it was a good year. As I say, Grant Thornton did its full audit, and again, didn't have any significant concerns. So, with that, and take that as a summary, I'd like to move that we approve these audited financial statements for the fiscal year 2021-2022. Ask for a seconder. Kathleen, thank you. Any questions? Motion? Okay, so I just ask for a vote for approval. I should say as well, thank you to all of our board, and in particular the finance committee who worked so diligently throughout the year, some of whom are here, and for those who aren't, and as well to Leah and Chris for all of their expertise throughout the year in managing, again, a very uncertain fiscal year. So to be able to do this and be able to stand here in a good financial position is, I'm sure, not many treasurers and other charitable organizations like this can say that. So a testament to staff as well. So thank you very much. The other agenda item is the appointment of auditors. As I say, Grant Thornton has been the Society's auditors for the past number of years. We're quite pleased with the independence and the work that they do and the thoroughness of their work. So on behalf of the Finance Committee, I'd like to put forward a motion that we appoint Grant Thornton as the Society's auditors again for the upcoming fiscal year. I ask for a second on that motion. Joe, thank you. And all in favor? Thank you. Those against? Okay, motion passed. Thank you all very much.
Thank you for that great report, Brian. Next, I call upon Chris Wilkinson to present the CEO's report and also to table the music director.
So you have a copy. Good afternoon and welcome. It's great to see everybody here. You have a copy of my written report, so I offer that to you, and happy to answer any questions if anybody has any now or later. Okay. So I just want to say that despite many challenges, Symphony Nova Scotia continues to be strong and resilient. And this is largely due to dedicated musicians, board, and staff, and the extraordinary support we have received from our audiences, sponsors, donors, and public funders. Thank you. And Holly is not with us today, but will be coming next weekend, which we're very excited about. And Holly's been a wonderful addition to Symphony Nova Scotia. And of course, this past year was the first time we really had an opportunity to have her with us, because when she was initially engaged, she couldn't travel, she couldn't be here, but she's really kept a very strong connection with staff and audience, despite the distance. So Holly's written report is in the annual report, and I encourage you to come next week to our concert, and Holly will be conducting. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Chris. Next, I call on Yvonne Roller to present the Players Association report.
Hi, everybody. I'm very proud to be representing the Symphony Nova Scotia musicians. Now, starting my 5th season as Players Chair. I'm pretty sure that's because nobody else wants to do it. Okay. And also, I'm the Finance Committee rep. You can go through the same lines, because you can read my message in the annual report as well, but I just would like to point out some personal highlights. Once again, I'd like to praise our musicians who continue to be incredibly flexible with whatever happens, rising above even the worst Mother Nature could throw at us. I mean, really, it wasn't bad enough to have 2 Baroque shows canceled last season because of COVID. Now we have 2 more canceled because of a hurricane. Are you kidding? Anyway, lots of hard work is going on in the office and on the ground. Beth Elliott, I just saw disappear, unfortunately. Anyway, hope you can hear this, Beth. Beth Elliott seems to have been born to be our production manager. Darcy and staff continue to program super interesting and diverse music for our community shows. The Queen's Mark concerts this summer were a total hit. We've hired 5 new musicians, including section cello, which I inadvertently left out of my report. You can kill me later. Who started in September, and we have auditions coming up soon for 2 more positions. I'm pretty sure the average age of the musicians just went down by about 10 years. Yay, youthful energy. Last year, I especially thank Dan and Eric for their continuing dedication and countless hours working on our behalf. This year, my special shout out is to Leah Hamilton. I feel really privileged to attend the finance meetings and see just how amazingly well prepared and knowledgeable Leah and the entire finance committee is. All the musicians, Holly and the entire staff deserve a huge thank you from the community and all of us. I'm really excited to hopefully play a full and well-attended season this year. Fingers crossed. Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. Next, I will call on Leah Hamilton, who's going to present the report from the Symphony Nova Scotia Foundation.
Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Yvonne. That's very nice. I'm really thrilled to bring regards on behalf of the Symphony Nova Scotia Foundation, Dale Godson, who can't be here today. Dale's message is in the annual report, and I encourage everyone to read it. As you know, the foundation is led by a number of very committed board members, each who have a long and admirable history of support with the organization. And the board members are also listed in the annual report. As Director of Finance, I get a front row seat of sorts to the immense value of the foundation to the organization. As you'll see in the report for fiscal 21-22, we received our highest ever annual allotment, over $808,000. And we expect that with the continued wise investment and generous support of our donors, that amount will continue to grow year over year. In fact, we expect that during the 22-23 fiscal year, the foundation will become the single largest source of operating funding for the organization. It will exceed the Canada Council for the Arts operating grant. So the foundation is truly an indispensable partner in our success and in support of our orchestra. So this outstanding level of support is driven by a few very important things. First is prudent investing by the foundation board and the investment committee of that board, which balances making annual returns with keeping endowment holdings safe for the long term. Secondly, the Canada Cultural Investment Fund, which is the matching fund program administered through the Federal Department of Canadian Heritage. That fund, over the years, has provided over $5.7 million to the Symphony Nova Scotia Foundation over the years, which is incredible. But most importantly of all is the support of so many annual and legacy giving donors who provide those funds that then are matched and invested and have grown into a $19 million endowment fund at this point. So in finishing, on behalf of the Symphony Nova Scotia team, I extend heartfelt thanks to the Symphony Nova Scotia Foundation and to our amazing family of supporters. Thank you for supporting our vibrant and versatile orchestra and allowing us to bring inspiring experiences and well-being to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah, and I think that's wonderful. I think we should give the foundation a round of applause. It's tremendous for an arts organization like ours to have such a strong foundation behind us, so it's wonderful. Next, I'd like to call on Nancy Bartow to present the nominating committee report.
Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to say that we've managed to find 2 new directors to join our board. It's always important to keep new talent coming forth, and we're very happy this year to be welcoming Ziad Lown. Ziad's with us today. And also Barbara Moose-Thistle, and Barbara's sitting up at the back, so I hope everybody will certainly, I'm getting ahead of myself, but welcome them to the board. Rejoining the board this year, nominated for rejoining on a to be re-elected for a 2-year term are Margaret Chapman, Kathleen Franklin, Maylie Grant Laidlaw, Mark Gosine, Hal Lewis, John McLeod, Mark Parkhill, and Jill Thomas Merrick. Board members completing a 2-year term for 22-23 are Dr. Jane Gordon and Bob Widdowson. So I'd like to move for the election of these directors to serve the board for the 2022-2023 term. May I have a seconder? Dr. Gordon, thank you. Now call for the question. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. For the slate of officers for the 22-23 term will be nominated Peter McCaskill as chair, David Wilson as vice chair, myself, Nancy Bartow, past chair, and Brian Rendell as secretary treasurer. So I'd like to move those officers for election. I look for a second. Hal, thank you. So all in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I should also point out that the musicians, and I'm not sure if we need a motion for that. The musicians that will be serving the board this year will be welcoming back Yvonne Caroller, Rachel Desert, and Ken Nogad-Ami, and I ask for forgiveness on pronunciation if I've messed any of those up. And also Women for Music Liaison, Shirley Dean. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. So next on the agenda is other business, and we did the agenda. I didn't hear any other business. I don't see any other business. So we'll roll right along. So adjournment, closing remarks. First, I want to thank the Halifax Central Library. What a beautiful venue this is. Great auditorium here as well. I'd like to thank and recognize Roddy McDonald. So Roddy has been on our board for 6 years. He helped the Symphony with a great deal of HR governance, collective bargaining agreement, lots of help there. Thank you, Roddy. He couldn't make it today, but he was always a great fan. I would also like to introduce Carol Keogh as the new Director of Marketing and Communications. And Jordan Fisher is our Director of Development. Thank you for joining us today and allowing us to share how your support ensures the sustainability of Symphony Nova Scotia. All of us here know that the Symphony is a provincial cultural asset that deserves recognition and support. Our musicians, volunteers, staff, through the music and their efforts, bring comfort, happiness, and hope to our community, contributing to its prosperity and well-being. As a leader in diversity, inclusion, and accessibility, this remarkable performance arts organization is encouraging us to broaden our collective and personal views as we imagine future programs for everyone. The Symphony's success is your success. Thank you. I now request a motion to adjourn the meeting. You guys want to stay? Somebody else will. Kathleen, great. Seconds, John. Perfect. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.